So TI has a really diverse set of products in the automotive space. And our mission was to try to tell a story of how they enable and impact people's lives. So the TI studio team got together with a bunch of different organizations within TI and different people to learn more about how those products could be manifested in the video.
After that, we got together with the team from Santa Clara, all got in the same room together, and brainstormed creative ideas around everything we had just learned from the businesses.
So we came up with 4 totally different treatments that were created in that session. And one of them really resonated with our TS Studios team and eventually wound up with the final shooting script that was the basis for the video.
But when the shoot day finally showed up, we were forecasted for rain. Oddly enough, because half this video takes place in rain. And day one, when we didn't need rain, it was pouring outside.
We had crew building a crane out in the rain. We had everybody staging equipment under 2 tents on top of a parking garage.
But we were chasing the weather. It rained before, and when we looked at the radar, we had a huge storm coming in after, and we still had our second location to go to.
I went with an advance team over to Lakewood Theater to get everything set for our second location. I was meeting the rain truck and the drone operator and some of the other effects crew that were going to show up. We got set and ready to go for the first shot.
And as soon as I called action, it just started to pour. So we've got a dilemma now. What do we do? We have all these people, we have all this crew, we can't just shut it down. So I pulled out my shot list, I started looking at it, and made the decision that we were gonna shoot all of our driving scenes from the last day and push them up to the first.
So in one way, that actually saved us a lot of trouble because we could shoot in real rain, and we saved ourselves from having to wet down a lot of areas. But then at other times, keeping track of, the car shouldn't be wet now, but it got wet on the way here, and we got a brief break in the rain. So let's dry it off, get it back out there, get the shot, and then get it wet again. So it was sort of a lot of back and forth in that.
Day 2 came. We showed up at the house at Swiss Avenue. Everybody was getting out and set, and the moment we were ready to go, downpoured again.
Brian had just detailed the car, so now it's got water dots all over it and spots and stuff, so we had to redo that.
And we didn't really have a whole lot of help in the car drying area, so that was a lot of fun on my part in the middle of July in Texas.
But we ended up getting all the footage we need during rain sequences and during dry sequences, and it worked out really well. We were able to actually shoot a couple of extra shots in there, which I think ended up helping us a lot because editorially it gave us the flexibility we needed to tell the story correctly.
We got to Lakewood. The first shot we did was the drone. So we had the guys ready, they were good to go. The shot was amazing. I mean, everybody was standing around looking at this thing and watching the drone and taking pictures, and I mean, it looked really good. And the end results I'm very happy with. I couldn't be happier with that.
Day 3 showed up, everything was going on schedule, and we were just flying through them until we hit the Phantom shot.
The effects guy that was there, he was rigged and ready to rain on the move from a water truck to a car like a hurricane if he needed to, because that's what we had kind of planned the shoot around, being able to shoot that car. But of course, because of the weather, we had already shot that stuff, and now we have to match to this lighter rain like it actually was on the day instead of what we would have been controlling, which would have been much easier to match to.
For this one particular shot, we really wanted to show the rain as it's falling in front of the car, but indicate in a very before and after fashion how the headlight technology does not shine on the rain drops. So we needed to slow that rain down. We needed to slow it down so you could see individual drops, so you could see those drops go away. And for the shoot, we actually shot at 1,000 frames a second to slow down that process. That just involved a lot of collaboration and coordination by the props guys, the camera department, the lighting guys, the water truck people, to get all of these elements working in concert to create a convincing shot where we actually think we're pacing along with the car in the rain rather than that car being sitting in the parking lot, not moving.
Post-production started almost immediately after the shoot, but they pretty much nailed it right out of the gate. After we got the edit done, Real Effects started working on graphics. We started looking at the call-outs and the text and different elements like that, and then we sent off and they started doing the UI.
Our console is our main component of the car, and through that component is where you kind of choose what you want up on your screen, what kind of apps you're running through, and then that actually cascades through the rest of the car. So I would say the console is the most in-depth. It's also going to be the largest in frame, which means it needs to have, kind of the most design, the most intricacy.
We took our design cues from the very best of modern mobile operating systems, computer interfaces, even some gaming interfaces, so that our design would look both current and futuristic. Some of the technologies we featured are available now. Some of them are going to be available way out in the future. We had to put all of those kind of into the same look and feel, and I think we were successful in that.
So one area that I was particularly interested in because of my personal interest in games is the holographic game that the kids play in the back seat. The look that they achieved was really pretty interesting, and the way that the holograph is represented is definitely in line with our initial vision.
We knew going into this project that we would need to partner with an outside group in order to get the special effects done the way we wanted them to. We don't do that enough around here to have talent on staff that specializes in that. We ended up going with a company called Real Effects, and working with them has been fantastic.
About a month out, we decided to pull the production aspect off of Real Effects' plate and put it back into TI Studios.
That worked out perfectly because it took all of the headache and the struggle of making sure that the live action production worked well, off of our shoulders, and we were able to focus just on the craft of creating these visuals and these graphics.
By doing that, though, it ultimately saved the company about $25,000 and let us highlight what we were capable to do as a team.
Everybody had the opportunity to speak up and say what role they wanted to fill. And if someone is doing something that they really like doing, they're going to step up their game, and everyone brought their A game. And so it was no other way we could pull this off without such a great crew.
And even though it was, it was raining and it was, late hours and everything else like that, there was this really great sense of camaraderie and accomplishment and family going on where, everyone was pitching in.
We were on set at sometimes 3 in the afternoon till 6 in the morning. And it was amazing to see, even with all of that time spent, all of the incredible energy that everyone brought with them to the shoot. I think we've put together some things that people hadn't seen before, and I hope that's fun for them to watch. But I also, and most importantly, I hope that we made a clear link between TI's involvement in the automotive industry and what you see there on screen.
We want our prospects or our customers or anyone that sees this video to think, oh wow, I didn't know that TI did that. Let me go learn more. And if that sparks into a sales opportunity, that's the purpose of this video. Bottom line, it's got to help deliver opportunities for TI to grow revenue and market share.